There's no point being correct to where you were 30 years ago if now we can't swing like we did 30 years ago. We've got to adjust everything correctly to now our new swing, our range of motion in particular, but keeping everything correct. Hi everyone, Murdoch here, hope you're well. My senior viewers have grown up in the era of 60s and 70s golf and the reverse C. So think about that for a second. The modern golf game in the last 20 years is considerably different. It's definitely more rotational and more centered over the ball. More of a body release, they call it. Whereas back in the day, shafts were different, golf balls were different. There was very much a look of the reverse C and active hands through the ball. The posture wasn't as in the angles as the modern day golfers now. So a good way to look at it is the honorary starters at the Masters now. So give yourself a lot of credit here and don't be hard on yourselves. I want this video to be about me acknowledging the fact that my audience, my 55-year-old and plus in age audience, have got a lot of this in their golf swing DNA. Now, as we get older, we get stiffer. But if this is still subconscious in your golfing mind, we start teeing the ball too high. We start teeing the ball too high because in the backswing we are now hanging back on our right side because it's quite difficult and very uncomfortable for a lot, but difficult because of back pain for us to turn through and release it. So we hang back. The tee peg gets higher and higher and higher. So we might get a sweeter hit with the driver, but can you see how the hanging back and the wide stance here to make everything a little bit easier and manageable becomes very difficult not to fat it with your iron shots, not to get the divot after the ball. The tee peg now is just way too big for senior golfers. Tour players have a very high tee peg, very wide stance, very big, fast, powerful golf swings. It can be warranted for those guys. But as we turn less because of restriction, we don't need to tee it so high. Our stance doesn't need to be so wide. So let me explain. I'm going to knock that off the tee for a moment. Now, when you're warming up, this is where you first start thinking about that. Our range of motion and capabilities. Remember, we already know a good golf swing move is uncomfortable. What we've got to also understand is our capabilities in making this move. All right, so that's forefront of your mind before you even start holding a club, let alone practice swinging, let alone hitting balls. So we're in our position. We're feeling that uncomfortable stretch, back of the legs, back of the shoulder blades back, okay? So we're creating our angles here. Straight back means it's easy to turn around. Right, so front on, we've narrowed our stance to shoulder width. We're turning now just to see, while making a good move, what our capabilities are. Right, so I've hit a couple of balls this morning, but it's now a strain for me to get my club directly pointing at the ground, my club shaft here. That's 90 degrees. And that's me, I'm 53. So unless you're extremely flexible, you might challenge yourself to get in that position as well. It might be too difficult, might be impossible. So let's say we get to here. Right, so here we are. I've kept a good turning into the right hip, right knee and right instep, inside of relationship. This is good. This is good in terms of a golfing move. It's to a half position. So if I add the club and turn to the same position, it's here, chest high. This is why I love relating to the chest high position for seniors. Now, if that is your position, grip down the driver to that amount. Take 2 inches off the shaft. Now, what a lot of you forget is the ball position can come back slightly. Remember, we're not going to be quite so ballistic in our turn. We're not going to be hugely behind the ball. We're going to be a little bit more centered. So the ball position can come back. Now, can you see where I'm going with this? The low point of the club is here. The more the tee is forward, can you see the club will be on the rise? Add a wide stance, and a big turn behind, can you see we need a higher T-peg? That's the tour players. We're seniors with a 1/2 to 3/4 length swing maximum when we're in a good position. So you've got to first of all warm up and understand that this is my top of the backswing now. So grip accordingly. T-peg is lower and slightly further back, because on the through swing, as you stay behind it, trying to encourage that turn and coming off this right foot, remember, we don't want to make this turn like this. Can you see? This is me hanging back. It feels easier on my body, and I'll get away with it with the high T. But can you see also that it opens up the door for the hook? If I'm not turning and hanging back, the hands come in on a path that's good, but the face doesn't stay square long enough. We can get heel hits and that horrible snap duck hook, toey one as well. The face is coming in like this. We want it to stay squarer for longer. So in order for that to happen, we do have to have a range of motion here. So if you go back to this drill again, understanding again, we don't need a swing. You can see why I like this game, to where if you put your mind into the right frame to what your capabilities are and good moves of the golf swing, we don't need to hit many balls. It's understanding, so your mind is on the same page as your body. Here we go. I'm 3/4, turning well. I'm behind the ball enough, staying behind. Boop. Oh, this is where I can go now, only to here. I can see the strike. I can commit to the strike, so I'm watching the ball. Where does that lead to me? Here. Kind of chest high. We've watched and we struck it. This feels fine. Obviously the element of stretch from a good position is there. Then up to here. Right, so that's my swing. So with the tee in the ground and me gripping down on the driver, maybe 1.5 inches, according to my range of motion. So here we are. Narrower stance, ball not quite so inside the left heel. And I'm only going to go back to here. Here I am. That would have been lovely. I've lowered the tee so it's 1 inch off the grass. Here we are. I'm going to put a ball on it now. So here, can you see now that the top of the ball is above, the top of the club is not quite on the equator. Half swing, half swing. Here I am, down the handle. I'm feeling good. I'm confident in my range of motion. There we are. You'll get a much more consistent strike. It feels good because it's correct. You've got the confidence in the fact you're making a better move. Far more repeating. Don't underestimate a good strike out the middle producing that distance you feel you might lose. You're swinging correctly based on your new moves, based on your capabilities. So please consider that. There's no point being correct to where you were 30 years ago if now we can't swing like we did 30 years ago. We've got to adjust everything correctly to now our new swing, our range of motion in particular, but keeping everything correct. Make sure you're in a position here that's good. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for your support. I hope to see you soon. Take care.